These are my top 5 tips for decorating any planner layout. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I want to talk about some decorating tips that work for any planner layout. There are so many different types of planner layouts out there. You have vertical, you have dashboard, horizontal, quad, block, bullet journaling, so many different types to choose from, and they all have pluses and minuses for sure. But I think where we come into some obstacles is that you get used to decorating one certain type of planner layout, and then you may have trouble switching it up, or you may be unsure of how to decorate a different type of layout. And that's what I want to talk about today. These are going to be 5 tips that will work for any type of planner layout, any one that you want to choose, any size, any layout. 5 tips that will help you kind of bring your design and your decorating together. So today, as we talk through this, I'm going to be working actually with the horizontal layout, which is one that I don't use very often, which is why I thought it might be a good challenge and a good way to bring in some of the plans. I've pulled a few sticker books, a couple from Keleva Plan. We have Spring Florals Volume 2, Rainbow Quotes Volume 2, and from the Happy Planner, this is an older one, Canyon Modern. I think it was maybe from this point last year. So some ones that I want to play with. I think we're going to bring these together, and I'm pretty excited about it. So I will link the things that I use down below. And as we go through, I'd love to hear what are some of your biggest tips or kind of the rules that you try to follow as you're decorating. I'd love to hear those as well. All right, let's go. Okay, as you get started with your planner layout, tip number 1 is to start with a color palette. Start ahead of time, start planning with the color palette you want to use. That can be dictated by a lot of different things. It might be seasonal, it might be mood-based. Maybe you're wanting kind of a calming look. Maybe you're wanting something really vibrant. You're gonna want a color palette that kind of works with that. You can choose rainbow, you can choose monochromatic, whatever works for you. Just start with the color palette. I like to choose my color palette in a few different ways. First of all, your sticker book may dictate your color palette. This is the one that jumped out to me, Canyon Modern. You can see it has kind of these like beautiful, it's a rainbow color, but a little bit more muted. Really, the purple was what I was drawn to in this. So I know I want to use the purple kind of plum color, and I'll probably try to bring in a little bit of orange. Knowing the colors you're working with helps you combine different companies and different sticker books. So knowing that these are the colors I'm going for, that helped me look into Spring Florals Volume 2 and decide that some of these florals kind of pick up, as you can see, these same colors. So I could bring in this, and this pretty easily and work really well with these florals, which is what I'm going to try to do today. So combining those, really bringing it down or narrowing it down to 2 to 3 colors that you're emphasizing will help the spread come together. It doesn't mean you're only limited to those colors, but by limiting the colors in general, it'll start to feel more cohesive. Another fun jumping off point for different color palettes would be to go with a washi tape, a fun pattern washi tape that you're building off of. Maybe picking one image, one photo if you're doing memory planning, just something that is the jumping off point for your color palette. It's also fun to get some paint swatches and play around with that, maybe play with some distress inks, whatever it is that helps you kind of bring those different colors together. I think we're ready to go because I'm going to go with these colors right in here and we're going to get ready. Okay, step 2 for a tip to decorate any planner layout is once you have your color palette ready to go, you're going to want to choose your key stickers or ephemera. I'm actually going to bring in my sticker guides. These are plastic guides. You can pick them up from the Happy Planner. You can also just use wax paper. That works as well. This allows me to place stickers down on the guides and easily move things around. So what am I talking about when I'm talking about Key Stickers or Ephemera. It's something larger, a larger piece. Whenever you're planning, you want to think big to small. So a larger piece, a focal point on your page. It might be a super large decorative sticker. It may be a quote. It may be the fact that you want a large box to work with. You want to choose a larger element. And then once you decide that, placing that on the spread helps you to figure out where everything else will be. It almost serves as that anchor point on your spread. So, for instance, I happen to love these particular quotes. Let's just do a quick flip through, see if anything else. I like some of the decorative elements here, love the boxes, but I really like, ooh, those are nice too. Oh, those are going to be fun to work with. Okay, I think these are where I want to jump off from, and I love that they are the colors I want. So I'm going to kind of go with a few different focal points because I happen to think that it will look pretty cool on the spread. We're going to go a few different ones layered in some different ways, and that's going to be my focal element. That's where my spread is starting. From there, I'm going to take a little bit and start building a little bit of interest around those focal points. Here's what I'm talking about as far as building the interest. I happen to really dig these floral stickers. I think they're beautiful, and I can start to layer them. This is, again, one of the plus sides to working on top of the sticker guides is that I can easily kind of pull these up right here. And layering is such a fantastic way to bring even more attention to those stickers that you love. And I love that this one will start off with plan, like over here in the corner. Because I layered over there, I also want to bring it over in another place as well. So we're going to bring this one here just to start layering behind where these stickers are going to be. And you can see it starts to bring the whole spread together. I've now have it on both sides. If you're working on a 2-page spread, it's very important to work on the balance of both sides. But we're starting to build our focal points pretty darn well. And I can decide if I need another focal point. Say I do want a box. Say I'm like, you know what, I definitely am going to need some big boxes, some double boxes, whatever the case may be. Those, again, larger elements. Let's go ahead and plan for those as we get started. Maybe I have plenty going on that Friday. I'm going to want a double box right there, and maybe some larger boxes, or at least a couple of different boxes over on the other side as well. I can start building those in. Let me bring this in just a bit. I feel like I could layer these two together. Once again, working with the layering. This time, I want to bring in some different elements from over here. There's a lot to choose from, but you can see how I can repeat an element right here. These were kind of jumping out at me. It's very interesting. Normally, I wouldn't go for this like neutral, but because it's going to pick up the neutral that's in both of those places, I actually think that building these focal points or these clusters will be pretty neat. So let me get going. Ooh, actually, I can build that one. That's kind of nice. And then let's bring another one in to this one as well. I think we're going to have to bring another floral up just to add a little interest right up here. Probably can go with just something like this. Oh, it got cut. Okay, let me change that up. Let's do one of these, and actually I could probably cut this one and we'll layer it right there. Okay, so you can see how this is really starting to build the different focal points on my page. Love how that's coming together. So what I'm going to do next is go ahead and transfer these onto my page, and then I'm going to share with you tip number 3. All right, so we have added the anchor stickers or the focal points on our page. Tip number 3 is one that I struggle with at times, but it's really important in a planner layout, and that is embracing the white space. You need space to write in your planner. We all get very excited about all the stickers. Trust me, I'm right there with you. I love using all of the decorative elements, and I love a very full spread. However, it can be really important to make sure you are reserving space in your planner for the actual writing. That's what makes your planner functional. And there's a few different ways to do that. At this point, before I start adding any more decorative elements into this page, I want to figure out what I might need when. Do I need some checklists? Do I need to reserve room for writing on certain days where I have more going on? You can reserve that in a couple ways. Some people like to pull out their favorite highlighter and highlight the lines that they plan to write on, highlight the area. That keeps it separate. It goes with the color scheme. It's a wonderful way of marking it out. In a vertical layout, you may want to mark lines and use a ruler and mark out the lines where you plan to write. I like to use bullet points and boxes to kind of reserve spaces for writing. There's a lot of ways to do it. I've also seen people use Post-it notes. So literally taking some Post-it notes and covering up places where they intend to have writing, then adding stickers, and then you remove the Post-it notes and you are for sure kind of reserving those spaces. These are things you need to consider, especially at this point in the spread. Where are you going to write? How much room do you need to write? And don't be afraid of white space. When you decorate in advance, like most of us do with creative planning and decorative planning, you have to account for the writing in the layout. It may feel sparse, it may feel empty when you are starting or when you just plan ahead, but as you're filling in, that's going to bring a different kind of balance to it. And if you have blank spaces or white spaces that you don't like after the fact, you can always go back and add stickers. What is really hard to do is remove the stickers so that you can write. You can add during the week, but it's pretty darn hard to take them away. So at times, less is more. Embrace that white space and plan for where you want to write in your planner. Tip number 4 is something we all strive for, and that's a mix of functional and decorative elements. Here's how I maintain that mix. Every time I add a functional element, I'm adding a decorative element near it or engaged with it. I like to term, I don't want any orphan stickers on my page. So for instance, if I take a sticker like this, which is beautiful, and say I want it up over here or down here on a Sunday. I think I might want this one on Thursday over here. I don't want this sticker hanging out by itself doing nothing. Like no other sticker is touching it, related to it. It just doesn't make sense in the spread. What would make sense is bringing in a different sticker to engage with that sticker. So it might be that I am coming in down low over here, bringing this in, knowing I'm planning on cutting it off right there. That brings it in, that balances a decorative and functional sticker together. Combining those when you put them down is pretty darn important to bringing balance to your spread. So it's definitely something you want to consider. Another way to consider bringing balance is with like a symmetrical look. So I have an extra circle over here. Let's add an additional one here. But again, I kind of want to bring it in a way, it needs to relate in a different way. So I think maybe I'll bring it right here. So it's engaging with this cluster, but just to add an extra interesting element to it, I'm going to actually bring in this right here, because in all likelihood, I'm not going to be writing there anyway in that smaller space. And let's go ahead and layer it behind both of them. So anytime I'm putting on that functional sticker, I'm also considering what decorative sticker I might need. Eek. Uh-oh, a little bit of tearing. That's okay. We're going to make this work. I'm considering what decorative sticker I might need to make the whole thing kind of work together. So let's get this down. Thank goodness that was covered. Yay. Okay, I like how it's coming together. We're gonna play a little bit more, add a few more functional stickers on the spread, and then I'm gonna share with you tip number 5. Okay, here is my 5th and final tip, and that is when you're at this point and your spread feels pretty much done, you like a lot of the things that are going on, it's to add that finishing touch, adding your personality through something personal. That could mean doodles on your page. That could mean washi tape. There are lots of things that bring in your special touch. This is what's going to set a spread apart from any other spread that anyone else can make, something that only you would do. I oftentimes like to add borders. I like to add little doodles. I like to bring in washi tape of different patterns and textures, something that will be unique to you. So for instance, my go-to element is to add a little dashed mark. I love a dashed line. I love a dashed border. That is certainly one of my, what I would call calling cards, something that is really common in spreads that I love. And so adding the extra little bit, you can see this is not going to take up a ton of functional space. This is just an extra element that I can bring in to a few spots on this page that make it uniquely mine. It could be that you take time to really look for some of those smaller stickers in the sticker books to layer in on your spread. It could be that you like to do hand lettering. It could be that you like to replace the weekday names with a different font. Lots of different options on how to bring those moments into your spread. But taking the time to do that, that's what really elevates it in the end and makes it uniquely you, very special. And that's what's going to make you love your planner spread even more so that you engage with it in a different way and in a more frequent way, therefore making your planner more functional, because the more you engage with your planner during the week, the more likely it is to actually be an effective tool for you. I think I'm going to add it to just this one over here. And then I think we'll be done with adding that extra little element. I love how this is coming out. I think this is a super pretty spread. Love, 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 love that. So it's a tiny moment, but it can really make a big difference in your planning spread. Okay, let's recap the tips really fast. Tip number 1, start with a color palette. Limit yourself 2 to 3 colors that will help you build your spread. Tip number 2, anchor with your key stickers. Those are often going to be your larger stickers, larger boxes, large quotes, large decorative elements. Tip number 3, embrace the white space, meaning make sure you're planning for where you're actually going to write on your spread. Don't get so caught up in the decorating that you leave out the places where you actually want to write. Tip number 4, mix your functional and decorative elements. When you put a decorative element down, make sure it has a functional side. When you put a functional element down, make sure you are pairing it with a decorative element so you don't have any of those orphan stickers. Tip number 5, add personality with some finishing touches, something unique and special, a doodle, washi tape, paper scraps, all kinds of different things, layered moments that you bring in your own personal style and choices and aesthetic. Don't forget, it's all about experimenting and having fun. You don't have to decorate the perfect spread for it still to be a fun process and for it to be functional for you throughout the week. Let me know down below what was your favorite tip. Or again, if you have tips, if you have kind of go-to rules, I'd love for you to share them in the comments below. Don't forget, if you love these planning videos, to hit that subscribe button. It does help me out so much. Plus, then you will know when I upload new videos. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon community. We have a ton of fun over on Patreon. You get free printables every week. There's extra perks like early access to videos, additional free content, all kinds of things happening over on Patreon. I'd love to have you join us over there. So head on over to patreon.com/scrappywife to find out more. All right. I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.